So, folks, question for all of you: what the hell is going on lately? Let me explain here. So, we're all watching the deportations, right? They're going after felons and gang members, and they're picking up other people who are here illegally as well. Um, which is sad, but it's necessary. I mean, it's a freaking law, right? Because there are a lot of people that I work with who are trying to be here legally, and they're going through all sorts of loops, and we're watching all this thing play out, and that's fine, right? It's per the law. We're doing what we do like any other country. And then I get this obscure thing comes across my X feed saying that there was a bombing in Los Angeles Convention Center this last weekend. What the hell? They had fire response and everything. During the fires, it was that big convoy of cops showed up in downtown also. But this was after that. This was like already late in January. Some bicyclists or bikers, I don't know what the reference was, detonated a garbage can. But it was an explosive, like the bomb squad went there. And I'm like, what the hell? Where was this in the news? Nowhere. I had to dig to find it. And now you can find it if you put LA Convention Center explosion and you put roughly January 2025, it should come up on different platforms. Well, what the hell? Then on top of that, it turns out that Air Force One's backup, right? So the president has Air Force One, right? The VP has Air Force Two. And then they have a backup plane, right? Which makes sense, right? So if Air Force One has a malfunction, they move everyone to the other plane. Now that's Air Force One. And broken one goes and gets repaired. It had to return to the airport as it was landing. It had to return to the airport as it was taking off this last week because a drone was interfering with its flight path. But here's the kicker. The drone was flying at 4,000 feet. What the hell? He was in Class B airspace. There's no way he wasn't. Why was a drone up there that high, not transmitting, didn't have its transponder on? The FAA, like if my drone is limited, I cannot fly in certain heights in certain areas. It's just restricted. But even if I did, let's say I got FAA clearance, I'm a licensed drone pilot. I get my FAA clearance and I'm like, I want to fly to 1,000 feet or whatever, and I have to get a special waiver. That's high. I can't even see my drone at 1,000. It's a little drone. I'm going to see that damn little potato 1,000 feet over my head. I might or might not see it. I mean, that would be cool as shit. I'd get dizzy trying to find the damn little drone. But what was it doing flying at 4,000 feet? To me, that's either a commercial or a military drone. And the FAA saw it on radar. They actually dispatched a Black Hawk and two F-16s to investigate. But the F-16s are traveling at just under the speed of sound. They couldn't find it. They're moving too fast. The helicopter got to the right spot and the air traffic control was like, well, the drone is in your proximity. It's either under you or above you. And they opened the doors of the freaking helicopter at 4,000 feet, which was cold. And they're looking around, like the two door gunners are looking around because they were going to shoot the freaking thing down. And they couldn't find it. Like they could not see the drone. But it's small. I don't think it was stealth or anything. It was just a small drone up in the freaking sky at 4,000 feet. Like, how the hell does this happen? So I'm wondering if all this immigration stuff, all this getting rid of, they busted one guy that had IEDs he was building. And his ass is now he's arrested, his stuff's confiscated, he's getting kicked out. Or he's getting put in jail, actually. They're going to keep him because they got questions for his ass. They just stopped the guy with automatic Kalashnikovs trying to come in through El Paso, along with like 200 pounds of coke, right? Because you got to throw the symbolic cocaine in there. What's happening? Like, I almost feel Like all the little things, all these little bits and pieces we've been watching over the last year, 6 months, are all starting to gel together into something, but I just don't know what it is. But yeah, 4,000 foot and the drone's way the hell up there. That's insane. And it actually forced one of the Air Force One jets to turn around and land. That's crazy. That is concerning as shit to me. Because what else could they do? Right? Who's to say they don't go to some major airport and throw a bunch of drones in the air and go crash into the airplanes just to prevent them from taking off or to make them crash? Like, yeah, that something's wrong. So folks, pay attention to weird stuff going on around you. I didn't even know. I mean, I heard about the gun bust in El Paso. I did not know about the LA bomb that went off in the convention center. I sure as hell didn't know about the drone. And it's nowhere in the mainstream media. Everyone's so fixated on the immigration and the ICE agents are deporting people, and we're not seeing these other things going on. And that concerns the shit out of me. Because if someone like me, who's part of our community, and I'm always looking for this obscure stuff, as a hint to something greater, and I'm like, I could barely find this. And the only reason I did, one showed up on my TikTok feed, one showed up on my X feed. Otherwise, I've heard and seen nothing. And nobody's talking about it. That concerns the shit out of me. What are we missing? I'm wondering if all this immigration, all this pressure we're putting on the cartels and getting rid of these people, specifically the terrorists and felons who are in this country, isn't accelerating something else. Like maybe they had a plan. Oh, we're going to commit this act against America at some future date. But now Trump won. Kristi Noem and Tom Homan are going after everybody. There's ICE agents, ATF. Everybody's out there, all hands on deck. Here in Texas, Oklahoma, local cops are in on it too. The local authorities are not resisting the feds in this part of the country. We're like, no, let's go. So they're all working together. They're kicking thousands out per day, felons and rapists and all sorts of bad stuff. Who's to say there's not a cell or multiple cells in this country going, we're running out of time. We need to execute whatever we're going to do. We need to do it now and sooner than later before they find us. Especially after they caught that guy with the manufacturing IEDs. That, I'm wondering if trying to get rid of all the bad guys might accelerate something. So pay attention to your area. Pay attention to what's going on in your vicinity. And if you see something really out of whack, I'm not a fan of being a snitch, but I'm also not a fan of being a terror victim. Call it in. Call the law and say, hey, look, this dude's doing something weird. If you're not sure, call the fire department. Hey, I think they got chemical spill in this neighborhood or this house, or there's some kind of smoke smell. I smell gas from this house. Can someone come check? Because the fire department will recognize it. And if it's nothing, if it's innocent, it's just some weird shit, then the fire department will, tell them to clean it up, and that's that. But if the fire guys go in and they see something weird, they're going to call the cops. The cops will be there in a heartbeat if the fire department calls. So pay attention to what's going on. I'm wondering if all this removal of these illegal felons is going to accelerate something else against our countries. So anyway, you guys be good. Stay frosty out there because something weird's going on and we're not hearing about anything. I'll talk to y'all later.